These 5 mistakes nearly cost me my business. Don't let these mistakes ruin your Pokemon TCG store. These were my biggest mistakes as a card shop owner that nearly ruined me, that no one has ever talked about online, that I've never seen anyone mention, but happened to me, so I thought I would share. Yes, I could give you guys some more common ones like, oh, bought too much inventory, didn't price inventory soon enough, didn't get into singles, didn't get into graded cards. But these are very specific to me that I've seen no one online mention. So watch this video, see what my mistakes were and how they can help you. Now, don't forget, we're still doing our Prismatic Booster Bundle giveaway. We've announced several winners so far. If you haven't entered in yet, all you have to do is comment down below, subscribe, let me know what your favorite Pokemon is, and you're entered in. We're selecting one every time we hit over 100 new subscribers. So we'll be announcing the latest winner at the end of this video and pinning them in the comment below. If you win, just shoot me a message on Instagram to verify or on our website, bubblecards.com. Let's get into it. Now, these were very big mistakes I made as a card shop owner that no one talks about online. I haven't seen a single one of them mentioned. But I feel like they were detrimental to my business. I barely survived each one of them. So, what were they? Coming in at number 5 is selling on TCGPlayer, Mercari, eBay, and Facebook, and my website. I know what you're thinking. Dude, that should help your business, not ruin them. It's not that it ruined my business for selling on those. It was selling on all of them at once. Okay? Now, just selling on all of them at once isn't a big deal. However, when I started, I didn't do a good job at cross-checking inventory. Okay? I'd have it on my website. My website on Wix does an excellent job tracking inventory. But then I'm like, oh, I need to move X product. So I would sell something on TCGPlayer. I'd list it on eBay, Mercari, just trying to get it moved. Well, it would sell on TCGPlayer. Well, TCGPlayer doesn't update my website on Wix. eBay doesn't update my website on Wix. Mercari doesn't update my website on Wix, and Wix doesn't update Mercari, TCGPlayer. They don't interact. Actually, recently, Wix did integrate eBay sales, so that's actually one reason we started selling on eBay. I used to sell it under my original, just normal selling account. Was it Pika Cards, right? Was it Pika Cards? Yeah, I think it was Pika Cards. I actually had that before I had Bulba Cards. Apparently, in Brazil, Pika has a different word meaning than Pikachu. That's why I didn't name the business Pika Cards. Just so you guys know, you can look it up yourselves. But my wife's Brazilian, and we don't want her family thinking I'm running around selling Pika Cards. So, Google it yourself. I don't think YouTube would like me saying it on here. So I used to sell it on there, and then it just got such a hassle, and the cross inventory caused me issues. Now Wix allows integration of both, so now I actually sell on eBay again, because if I sell on eBay, it will mark it on my website. If I sell on the website, it will mark it on eBay, so it's very nice. But what would happen is I would list it on both, and then one would sell. Cool, you're thinking. Well, that's fantastic. Well, but then a customer would go on my website and buy it, and let's say I already shipped the TCGPlayer one. Well, I called the person on Wix. I'm like, hey man, I don't have this in stock. I'm gonna have to cancel your order. One, that cost me a refund fee. That could potentially cost me a customer. Nothing worse to me as a business owner than having to cancel someone's order because I messed up, right? One of my biggest pet peeves. I can do it on Wix and keep the customer, cancel it on TCG, but then the TCGPlayer has the review system. I have a very high score on TCGPlayer. I've never received a negative comment. I think we're above 5,000 reviews as well, and they're all 100%. I go out of my way to make sure we keep that. So I don't want to cancel on there either. So that was a mistake I made a lot, and I had to do a lot of giving them compensation for those mistakes. And it happened regularly. I mean, very regularly. And it's just something that shouldn't happen. So if you're selling on all those multiple platforms, what I recommend doing is spreadsheeting everything. And then when you make a sell, tally mark. Okay, that's what I do now. I do two things now. One, I spreadsheet it. But 2, I actually keep separate inventory. I actually just started that recently. Even with my spreadsheet system, I wouldn't update it as regularly as I should. Every time you make a sale, you should tally mark it. And then at the end of the day, you can go back and go, okay, this is how many I got left, update everything. But then I ran into issues of, well, the boom, right? Everything would sell on TCGPlayer suddenly, everything would sell on the website suddenly, all like within 5 minutes. So what I started doing now instead is I'll take like 5%, 10% of a product and just move it to a different shelf. And I'll say, this is my TCGPlayer shelf. This is my Macari shelf. I actually don't sell Macari anymore. I just sell TCG, eBay, and the website. But I sell very few now. TCGPlayer, I mostly only sell my singles on. I really don't sell sealed product anymore. And then eBay is things like graded cards, sleeves, and toys, because those tend not to sell very well on the website. Website, I pretty much keep all of our card products because they will sell quickly, they will sell well, and I want to keep the website stocked, especially with right now with the boom, how everything's so short supplied, so that way the customers there get the product more than anyone else. I've talked about this before. You do a good sell on eBay, people don't say Bulba Cards is great. They say eBay's great. You sell it on TCGPlayer, they don't say Bulba Cards is great. They say TCGPlayer is great. So, singles don't sell well on the website, and Wix is not designed for single cards and the pain in the butt. So, I do my singles on there. So what I do now, if I do sell sealed, I completely take it off one shelf, put it on the other shelf, and I keep separate inventories. I don't have to do that with eBay anymore because of the integration, but that's how I handle TCGPlayer now. So, separate your inventory. Make sure you don't intermingle the two because it will cause mistakes and you'll get a lot of angry customers. Now, coming in at number 4 is not charging shipping. Okay, these last 2, they weren't world enders. They just caused me a lot of headaches. The 3 coming after this actually did nearly shut down the business several times. But not charging shipping, I actually was watching Pokémon and he talked about it. Hey man, like, just charge shipping. I know it sucks, it's not great, but you have shipping charges. So we started doing that about 8-9 months ago. And what are the benefits of it? One, the benefits of charging shipping. It's easier for me to price gauge and I can change prices on the website much quicker. Before, because we had free shipping above $50, I would have to sit down and go, okay, if they bought an ETB and this, how much shipping would need to come out of the ETB? Okay, that's about $3. Okay, so I need to price the ETB now about $3 above market rate. Make sure I have this margin. It was a headache. By having a flat shipping rate of $10, like Pokémon recommended, be sure to check out his videos. He has great advice on businesses, but doesn't have these 5 things listed. So check his out after this, okay? Now, by having the $10 flat rate, what I can do now is I can sell for a much cheaper cost, and you can see what the actual cost of the item is without integrated shipping in it. And it's easier for me to go update pricing. $10 flat rate shipping, not have to worry about it. Oh, look, price has dropped on that item. I can, within 3 seconds, boom, boom, change it. I don't have to worry about the figures, where before I had to sit there forever and figure it out, so things were updated much slower. And then after the first 3 months of having the shipping costs come, the amount of our shipping cost, the amount of our shipping cost was so much better. Shipping ate into our profit margin so much when we were doing the free shipping. And I know everyone wants to do free shipping because of Amazon, but here's the thing. Amazon's getting stuff to your house the same day or the day after now. Free shipping isn't going to be Amazon. You still have free shipping. It's still going to take anywhere from 3 to 10 days for an item to arrive to someone else's house. The shipping isn't going to make or break it. Great customer service and a fair price will keep people coming to you, not free shipping. Everyone understands shipping costs money. It's not on you, okay? So that's allowed me to be quicker at price adjustments and also insure every single package, so if anything happens, it doesn't cost me money. So that's a great value, is charge shipping. I know it seems rough, it's scary at first. Charge shipping. It'll be a great benefit for your business. Coming in at number 3 is using credit or leverage to get your product. This one is talked about a little more about some people, but I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach on this. So even though you know, hey, I can buy this product and I can sell it within 2 weeks, and now it's not going to really cost me any interest, okay? Cool. However, the need to flip an item within a week or two, or before your credit card statement comes in, puts a lot of stress on your shoulders as a business owner. And at any moment, the market could drop and you're left with that stuff on your credit. Or you make a mistake and you bought something you thought was going to be hot. One of the worst things we ever bought was the Pokemon Go Dragonite Premium Collection. I think we got one of those. Hold on. It was this bad boy. I ordered nearly $20,000 worth of these. Put it on a credit card. Now, this is different than the Ultra Premium Collection. The Ultra Premium Collection sold like crazy. At the time, Pokemon Go was selling very well. And I thought, hey, worst case scenario, I can rip the packs out, sell them at that, right? Well, specialty sets, they stagger releases. So by the time this came out, Pokemon Go had dropped significantly. And I was left holding on to these. Up until 3 weeks ago, I had about 25 cases stacked to my ceiling of these. If you get subscription boxes from us and you got Pokemon Go, it's these. I literally ripped these. I have ripped more of these open and put in subscriptions. I have actually sold them. The last 2 weeks, the price finally gone up on them. Pokemon Go's become much more wanted, and we've been selling them like crazy. But that was a lot of interest I got hit with because I used credit or leverage to get them. Now, I did very well with credit and leverage majority of the time. That's the only time I've ever had to pay an interest on an item. Normally what I would do is purchase an item. I'd pay off my credit card within like a week. And now they give you this extra 2-week grace period where you wouldn't get hit with interest for a good 45 days. Well, if you're selling and flipping items, that's very useful. So I managed to go 2 years without interest, any interest payments on credit until I hit those. Why didn't I use cash? Well, I just didn't have it. My goal when we opened Bubble Cards was to grow it as much as possible. When I started Bubble Cards, we started with $100. That was it. And within a year, I think we bought, it was only like $9,000 worth of product. Now we opened in like mid-May, and it took me 3 months to even get my first item. So take that in consideration. But the second year, like an entire full year, we ended up, I think we bought a total of $180,000 worth of product, and this was when the Logan Paul stuff hit. So product was nearly impossible to get. Second year, we were around $400,000, right? I think that was our biggest year, and just purchasing product. So all that time, that was the only thing I ever paid interest on. But it was a lot of interest, and they never moved. I had to sell a bunch of other items off that I didn't want to sell yet. I think it was Evolving Skies to pay that off. And it really hurt. I would much rather still have those Evolving Skies cases today that are worth what? $5-6 grand now? I don't know. I haven't looked. I quit looking at Evolving Skies because it makes me cry. So, but avoid using credit card and leverage to purchase your items. Why? Majority of the time, you're not going to make a lot of money on your Pokemon sealed product, especially if you need to sell it quickly because you have to have a lower price. It would be easier to just go work a job for a few hours to buy an additional booster box to sell than it is to sell it for maybe $1 or $2 and do that 100 times. The amount of time you're going to spend doing that is much greater than if you just went and like mowed someone's yard. So instead of using credit or leverage, I recommend just go do a side hustle if you don't have a full store yet. Earn the money to purchase the product you're going to sell. That way, you can sit on the item however long you wish until the price gets to where you want to sell it. I didn't get to hit that point until we opened the gym, where before we opened the gym, I had to sell everything instantly. This is why up until recently, you didn't really, hear or see we do mini sales because the market was down and prices were very low. Well, I wasn't going to sell for a loss. It wasn't worth my time to sell for $1 or $2. So instead, I kept the price at $120 for a booster box. I was fine with it not selling. And then the boom happened, and then I still sold it at MSRP, and everything sold out quick because now it was worth my time. But because I was able to purchase all my inventory in cash, I didn't have to worry about selling it instantly, right? And that greatly benefited me. So you want to get to the point you can use cash immediately for your business. And if you feel the need to use credit, be careful. It can backfire and close down your business fast, especially if number 2 or number 1 happens to you when you're using credit or leverage. Coming in at number 2 is relying on Reddit. I thought we were booming as a business for the first 3 years. The first year was a little bit before the Logan Paul stuff, maybe a few months. And then we had the year of the Logan Paul stuff. Then we had the year of COVID. I thought we were killing it as a business. When we originally opened, we had the MSRP guaranteed slogan. And what I would do to sell is I would hit up a subreddit called Reddit TCG Deals. I'd post on there. I could sell out my inventory within a minute or 2. I'd make a single post and I would see everything gone almost instantly. Now, 2 things are wrong with this. One, it feels great when you're like, oh, look, I sold pretty much everything. But you've sold everything. There's nothing else on your site. This is not good. You need to keep inventory on your site. Otherwise, people quit coming. And that was my issue with Reddit. I sold everything so quickly because of Reddit. Normal patrons, people who'd come and want to buy regularly from me, they couldn't get product and they quit coming to my site and they forgot about me. This happened pretty hard about a year before Scarlet and Violet for us, where it was right at the tail end of like Lost Origins. We were selling so much and the website was being so empty. People just quit coming to our site. I could see the traffic was completely gone. And then, hey, Scarlet and Violet came out. Our inventory got built back up. Those people used to shop with us that I used to message every day. We would chat, talk. They didn't come anymore. They found another store. Well, why would they find us another store if you're so great? Because I didn't have things to sell them, okay? You have to have things to sell them because what are they going to do? They're going to go just find another store. It's not because they don't like you. It's they need something else. Now they're used to buying from them. Why would they come back to you? You may not have stuff in stock again. Now, there was also a second issue with the subreddit. They're not loyal customers. That's not a knock on them. The subreddit is designed to find the best deals, okay? So what would happen is they go on there to find the best deals. Well, they're not likely to become loyal customers of yours. They're going to go shop anywhere they can get a better deal. I would get messages of people cussing me out and yelling at me because I was like $1 or $2 more than someone else, right? Oh, you're scamming people. What are you talking about? Like, I'm 40% below MSRP. I literally, if I sell it for $1 less, I'm losing money. And oh yeah, whatever, right? And it's like, it was shocking. I couldn't quite understand it. I ignored it for a while. And what it is the group's designed to get you the best deal. They don't care for you as a business owner if you lose money or don't. Where someone who like just randomly finds your site, you sell it to them. They don't really shop other places. They enjoy the service. They're going to shop with you regularly because they feel like they found a secret spot. They found a spot no one knows about, and they'll always come back, right? Where people on the subreddit, they know how to find cheap product, right? And that's what they want, is they want it at the cheapest price because they buy in large quantities. Where Billy Bob from down the road, who's just wanting like a few packs, they're not looking to buy out your inventory. They just need a few packs. And then they also don't want to spend 4 hours looking for different stores. So they'll be loyal to you. And that's fine for the subreddit. They don't need to be loyal to me, but I thought as a business, we were killing it. But when the market dropped during the Scarlet and Violet era, our sales did too. There was no one from that subreddit used to come around and buy from us. And then right before we opened the gym, where I said earlier I was able just to sell it at 120 and didn't need to sweat, I had prices down at, I think it was like 98. And I'd get those messages of people yelling at me, calling me a scalper. How dare you sell it for $98? I can go on TCGPlayer right now and buy it for $95. Your $98 price, you're just ripping your customers off. And I'm sitting there like, dude, I'm losing money on this. If I sell it, at $98, I'm losing money, right? After taxes, right? It costs me, I think, what is it? Around $95 from the distributor, not counting credit card fees and shipping fees, that's a loss for me. And yet I'm getting like yelled at, called a scalper, just cussed out. I was like, dude, that's when I finally hit the point where it was like, okay, I want to get back into the teaching jujitsu where people are actually appreciative of your efforts. Now, a little bit after that, when we stopped selling on Reddit, I learned it wasn't the customers, it was reliance on the subreddit. It's a different type of customer. So that's when I was like, all right, let's open the gym. Hey, I don't need to sell. It's not worth my time. $120 on the booster boxes, right? Even though prices were at like $100. Every once in a while I'd get a sell. I would make sure to go out of my way to make sure that customer got their item instantly, throw in a few freebies in it, keep them happy. And guess what? Those people, even though the price was higher, they bought from me regularly. So don't rely on deal groups to make your sales. It can feel great when you get into the sales, but you're not building a loyal customer base. To succeed as a Pokemon card shop, you need to have a loyal customer base. Now, I got a bonus one for you guys. This probably doesn't apply to very many people, but it sucked and made me think about quitting multiple times. And that is, do not have your Pokemon card shop in your house if you live on the 5th story of an apartment building with no elevator. We used to get pallets dropped off at the bottom of a 5-story staircase. My UPS guy was a champ. We're actually friends to today. It would take me and him like an hour to haul everything up 5 flights of stairs. We were pouring sweat. We were dying. I never got better leg workouts. I had knee injuries from when I used to fight MMA. And once I started selling in that apartment building, my knee injuries went away from all the physical therapy going up and down the stairs. So we're not there anymore. We've now built a house. This is the attic with 1,500 square foot, and we're doing much better. But man, it was awful. I was able to talk my UPS driver and like, hey man, if I get a storage unit and I just give you the number, would you care just to drop stuff in there? And if I text you, you'll pick stuff up instead of climbing these stairs? He's like, yes, dude, you got it. So make it easy access for you to work your business. Don't go in a 5th story apartment. So that's my bonus tip for you. I know that's going to apply to very few people, but oh my God, I thought about quitting so many times when summer in North Carolina, in Raleigh, North Carolina is like 120 degrees and you have to carry it up and down those stairs with that humidity. But coming in at number 1, and that is selling on Wix's platform. I know what you're saying. Elias, aren't you still selling on Wix's platform? Yes, I am. Doesn't Pokey recommend selling on Wix's platform? Yes, he does. Why are you saying Wix sucks? Because they do. And if they're watching this video, listen and fix this. I'm never coming back to your processing, but maybe fix it for other customers. So Wix has their website builder, which we still use and I love, but they also have their payment processor, where they're the ones who charges the credit cards, just like Stripe, just like PayPal, etc. Their processing people are a bunch of idiots. Okay, so story time. We were in our best year. I finally hit a profit. We made 60 grand profit. Right, our business grew almost by triple that year. That was the year we bought nearly about a little more than 400,000 worth of product, right? I'm saying nearly, I don't have my number in front of me, but it was above 400,000. Wasn't 500,000, it was above 400. Bought a product, not sold or anything like that, but bought a product. Going from $100 buying a product when we first opened to that is massive. And I made 60 grand selling Pokemon cards. I had $42,000 worth of chargebacks. Why is that Wix's fault? Well, let's get into it. So, remember that selling on Reddit I talked about? Well, we were doing there, and apparently a group who likes to scam people saw our site on there. How do I know this? Because someone sent me a message of it after it happens, like, hey, watch out, man. Now, I caught it a little too late. So I probably sent out 10 orders already. One thing they'll do, so they'll use a billing address like in Wisconsin and have it shipped to California. That's your first sign, don't ship. But they would buy one booster box. And it's kind of like, let's see what happens. Okay, nothing happened, no chargeback. Okay, cool. And then they would order 10 booster boxes. And all of a sudden, I would have 5 different orders, all like massive orders. You're talking about thousands of dollars, all going to one shipping address. This was called a drop spot. So it's not a real address. It's like an Airbnb, and then they just sit outside and pick it up. How do I know? Because we called the cops, and they couldn't find the people. I think I've caught one scammer once from Macari, but we'll save that story for a different time. So it was around 10 grand we stole. It's not just 10 grand. It's 10 grand of chargebacks, okay? You guys may not know this, but when you do a chargeback on your credit card where that $1 trillion company is like, hey, don't worry. We'll make sure, we'll give you your money. We'll give you your money back if you have to do a chargeback, someone steals it. No, they don't. They take it from the business, right? It's not my fault. Your credit card got stolen, right? It's the credit card's fault for not having better security. But here's the thing. They don't give any of it back. They just take it from the business, no questions asked, right? Once they take it from me, I have to then prove to them that it wasn't fraudulent. And there's no amount of proof you can give them where they will side with you. We can get into that later, but I've literally had emails. I've had talks with them. I've had them showing me the item and their pools, and the credit card company's like, there's no evidence. That doesn't prove anything. So it's not just 10 grand of items, like 10 grand that they took back from us, but now I'm also out 10 grand of items that I can't sell. So essentially that's 20 grand. Okay. Well, what about the other 30 grand we lost? This is where Wix really pisses me off. So I noticed these sales. I called Wix. I'm like, hey man, these are scammers. Do not ship to this address anymore or any of these accounts. And they're like, yeah, man, that does look sketchy. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Next day goes by. I have an order of 53 Evolving Skies booster boxes where they just bought everything in my inventory. Wix, this is a scam. Cancel the order, don't ship it. Oh yeah, we can do that. Block them from ordering. Oh, we can't do that. What do you mean? Like, it's obvious they're scamming me. Yeah, we can't do that. Well, you're charging me and a 3% refund fee for every order. Yeah, we are. They just ordered 20 grand from me. Yeah, they did. I'm not paying 3% of that. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do anything about that. Do the math on that. That is $600 for me to cancel that order out of my pocket for doing nothing and cashing it. Well, you may be thinking, well, so what? It's just $600. They kept ordering the same account, the same person, the same shipping address. As soon as I would cancel, they'd get back on there and order again. I would have to cancel again. And Wix is just sitting there raking in the money. So that other 30 grand was from Wix hitting me with refund fees. I hit that point and I was like, I'm done. I'm not selling anymore. I was talking to Lazardon Andrew. I was like, dude, I think I'm gonna quit. Like, it got to the point where any order that happened on Wix, I sat there and stared at it, and I didn't ship anything out for 2 weeks because I had so much anxiety and fear of shipping something and it getting charged back. I even had one customer who'd been buying from me for 6 months. I had talked with him on the phone. We had done pool rips together. He had sent me emails of his kids and everything. He did a chargeback of all 6 months. So that you have 6 months to do a chargeback. He waited 5 months and 3 weeks and then charged back the entire 6 months. So I was like, this guy's a friend. This guy's cool. Did that. So even someone I knew, there's no more of a background check I can do than literally talk with the guy for hours on the phone. And there's nothing I could do. And it really hurt. Where at least in jiu-jitsu and MMA, someone walks in, they try and scam me, I can choke them out, punch them in the face, right? All I've done my whole life is fight in MMA and jiu-jitsu. I like that much better when someone tries to cause a problem with you. And I just didn't know how to deal with this. And it really sucked, and it made me about quit. So basically what I ended up doing is, after those 2 weeks, I ended up, I found out I don't have to use Wix processing. I quit Wix processing. I only used eBay for a little bit. Then I found Stripe processing. They have a cool thing called Radar, where they can actually check and you can set rules. For instance, I set rules where your billing and your shipping have to match. If your billing and shipping don't match, I don't ship to you, right? And Stripe will block it. So if you've ever ordered from me and you feel like it's a pain in the butt because they're like, oh, authenticate your account. Oh, we're gonna send you a text confirming. You're like, dude, I've tried to check out 5 times. What's your issue with your site? That's what it is. I have the security ramped up to 11. So my apologies if you've ever tried to buy and you find it's hard. Comment down below. Have you tried to order from me and you feel like it can kind of be rough if you're using a credit card? I'd like to know, actually. And that's why. It's never going away, because that's the only thing that's protected us. Since we've implemented Stripe's Radar and Stripe processing, I've got hit with 1 chargeback. And it was a weird one, too. It was, the Radar said error failed. And then they still let it go through, where normally like it would block it. But for some reason it said error failed, billing, shipping don't match, don't ship, where normally it's supposed to block it. But like they don't send you those messages. You have to go in there and dig through and actually see that stuff. So unless you check every order. So I didn't catch it. It was only for $80. But out of what it was before, it was a savior. So I think it's like an additional 0.3% processing, which is nothing to have that protection. PayPal's great. I've had 2 chargeback attempts on PayPal. I'm like, hey, like, here's the shipping. And they're like, yeah. I even had one. PayPal didn't even like call me. I'm like, hey, I see this chargeback for $1,000. Oh God. And they're like, no, we already ruled in your favor. You put shipping. There was a signature with ID. You're fine. I'm like, oh, awesome, PayPal. So PayPal, Stripe with Radar. Stripe without Radar can still do what Wix did. Use the Stripe Radar. And we've been fine since. But that nearly shut us down. And combined with the Reddit, we got hit with groups. So, and if you're doing all that while leveraging credit cards, God save you. Okay? So, if you do any of these mistakes in isolation, it can ruin your business like it nearly did me. You do it in combination, you're destined to fail, like we nearly did several times. Now we're very stable, and I had to work these things out myself. I wish I would have found YouTube sites like Pokémon before. Well, I don't think he was around when we started. What does he say? He's been open for 6. I think we opened like a year before him. Now he's done way better than us by all means. He's grown way faster and was way smarter of a business person, probably because he owned businesses before that. I got punched in the face before I did this for a living. So that's definitely helped me back. No brain cells. But yeah, he wasn't on YouTube and stuff when I opened, so I really didn't have that. Like, for instance, the shipping advice. That was recent, and it saved me, right? Pokeani's YouTube channel is a fantastic channel to check out for business advice. I actually watch his, and when I do mine, I make sure I'm not hitting the same points. Like, no one wants to hear the same stuff over and over again. So those are my biggest mistakes as a business. So please don't fall into those for yourself. And until next time, shopbubblecards.com, and we will see you soon. All right, and our current winner for the latest 100 we hit is at Yarmay1005. So hit me up on Instagram or our website to get your Prismatic Booster Bundle. We also still have Joshua Disher 78. Contact me. I haven't heard from you yet. And KaneCraft3510, who also hasn't contacted me. I've heard from Red0332. We'll begin your Prismatic bundle to you soon. But the other 3, contact me. I need your shipping info. And we need to verify you too. So hit me up and we'll get your item to you soon.